felt like she had lost her mojo. That was actually the term she used. And this is exactly what I told her. You need small victories. They don't have to, you don't need to go out and try to take the world on day one. You need small wins.
So I see yourself as winning.
Well, I set this goal and I achieved it, and then I set this other goal, and it doesn't matter how small those baby steps are. They're fucking steps. That you're working towards a goal and you're moving forward. It's when you start going backwards and keep going backwards, that's where the problem is.
When you're stagnant, things are dying.
Well, and I told her, after a certain number of times, and I told another guy this too, after a certain number of times doing these, we'll call them 5 things, doing these 5 things, I get up out of bed, I've got 5 guaranteed wins right there, and that builds confidence. And confidence is the enemy of depression. Absolutely. Every fucking time. It's the enemy of anxiety every single time.
Well, and you've taken back, because for me, a big source of anxiety is control. And when you start gathering up wins in your column,
mine too.
I know. You're taking back a little bit of control over your destiny. When you're just stagnant and you're just letting life happen to you, you've given up control. You've given up. You're really not. There is no life. There is existence, and you're giving the depression all the magic potion it needs to keep you trapped down there, because, like Chris was talking about the little wins. Not only do they start to add up in your column, and you think, hey, all right, I accomplished that. But not only that, but you start to take back a little control. And positive wins turn into habits. Now I don't have to work at steps 1 through 5. Those are automatic. My eyes open and I do them. So now what can I do?
And it takes they say it takes like 5 to 7 days to permanently develop a habit.
And then, all right, let's try steps 6 through 10. See what kind of bad business I can get going on there. And like.
So you just keep building.
Right, you're just building on wins. And maybe they're little, but they're still positive. And they're certainly better than never even getting out the gate.
And you know what? Someone may hear that and say, hey, I got up before 8 o'clock today. Oh, so? Hey, you know what? Fuck you. How about that?
Because that is a win.
Because for the last fucking 3 months, I didn't.
And that's right. It doesn't have to be a win to somebody else.
Exactly.
It has to be a win for you. And you have to, you have to work at it. And I know that nobody wants to hear that, because it sucks. But if you won't do it for yourself, do it for somebody else. Do it for the people that love you. Do it for the people that depend on you.
Well, and I've heard people say, it's a struggle every day. But when you're in that habit and you've got that confidence, I'm telling you, and someone can argue with me, I don't care, that's fine. But I firmly believe that confidence is in fact the enemy of depression. If you have confidence, that depression will go away, at least a little bit.
Well, it's going to get lighter. I mean, if you see that you're getting wins, you see that you're starting.
I know the anxiety will.
Yeah, I mean, you start to go, okay, it's a little less dark than yesterday. It may not be full on, future so bright I got to wear shades, but every little bit of darkness we chase back is a win. It's a big win, and I just. It hurts my heart terribly to see people give up on life, because I never said life is easy, but it is certainly beautiful, and it is a gift, and we owe it to ourselves and to the people that gave us life and people that we love to make the most of every day. I just. If you're somebody who's out there and it's really, really dark and you think you can't hold on, look, I am Brandy Wallace Everett on Facebook. Look me up. I will listen. And I may not have the answer, but I will listen and do anything I can to make your life better. I will do anything I can to help you see the brightness until you can, see it for yourself. And maybe you'll have to do it for me one day, because it is cyclical. And
and I've said it on Facebook plenty of times. It's like, you know what? You can hit me on Facebook. My phone number is in my fucking bio thing, and I always have it. Unless I'm watching Avengers Endgame, in which case I will be turning it off. But
3 hours.
Yeah, but outside of that 3 hour window, I've always got it. It's always on. It's always within arm's reach, and I always answer it.
That's right. Just it. And if you can't reach out to us, it's too personal, reach out somewhere. I don't care. Just reach out. Put that hand out and know that somebody will grab it. Somebody will grab it. There's the suicide hotline.
That number, by the way, is 1-800-273-8255, and they are open 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah. I know one thing that I've done differently, and I'm like Amber. It's always been like a specter in my life. But I've had some hard knocks in the last couple of years, and I found that I felt like I was drowning about 6 months ago, and I had a scary thought, and I went and I started talking to somebody, and I have never done therapy. I have never, I was afraid to open up and put myself out there because it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. But it's been really, really helpful, and it's helped me to, even on the bad days, to have more perspective. Say, okay, this hurts really, really bad right now, but tomorrow it's going to hurt a little bit less, and then maybe the day after that, it'll ease up for a while till it comes back around. But you just knowing that, like, there are people who will listen, and I mean, I'd talked to my friends and my loved ones before and been open with them, but it's so much different when it's somebody that's not invested. Mm-hmm. That was what I was really shocked about, just how freeing it is to talk to someone that doesn't have a dog in that race, that you don't have to worry, is it going to hurt their feelings because they're not enough, or whatever. You just don't even have to think about that. So, if you thought about talking to somebody and you never have, maybe give it a chance. Most insurance plans have mental wellness now. Like, you can at least get a few visits under your by paying your copay, and it might be the difference. It might be what it takes. And you say, well, I've done that. Well, try somebody else. I mean, you just don't stop. Don't stop.
Well, and I think there's also this, it's not a stigma, I guess. It's an idea that guys should keep all of their shit bottled in.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's bullshit now, and it always has been, but that's what we were told
right
growing up,
don't be a sissy. I hate that.
Well, yeah, but if you're a guy and you're dealing with anxiety or depression, especially anxiety, because that's what I deal with by far more than depression, it helps to talk about it. And I know that Amber gets fucking tired of hearing me talk about it, but it helps more than I can put into words.
She'd rather hear you talk about it than lose you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And I imagine whoever you are, your loved ones feel the same. That you may think they're tired of it, but I guarantee they would rather listen to it every day than live a day without you. Ross, it's hard for Ross to open up. He had some stuff when he was young, and it made him very cynical about mental health professionals and stuff like that, and I totally get it coming from where he comes from. But over the years, he has learned just a little bit, even if it's just to me, he opens up, and it makes a difference. We feel so alone when we're in our own heads. You feel so like nobody ever felt this way before.
And you are not an island.
No.
You're not. And I've had to tell her that before. It's like, and not specifically about depression and anxiety, but it's like you are not the first person to have whatever you have. I promise. And the good news is, if you are, they're going to name it after you. But
infamy.
Yeah, but you're not an island. So many people. What is it, like 50% of the country? 50% of the adults in this country deal with anxiety or depression on a daily basis.
And I bet that's
considerably more.
Lowball, yeah. And I mean,
I bet it's closer to 80.
And also not an island in that you don't exist in a bubble. You think, because even if you don't love yourself, you love somebody, and you think, well, okay, so I'm in this, but I'm not hurting anybody but myself. Well, I'm going to say,
that's horse
I'm going to
shit.
tell you that's horse shit, because there is nothing more painful than watching someone you love die by inches because they don't know how to fight or have given up the fight, or you see, the light go out in their eyes. That somebody is watching that and their heart's breaking.
And if you don't have depression, I'm 100% sure somebody you know does, unless you're the only person you know, in which case...
Probably several people.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about the odds of nobody you know dealing with depression or anxiety are astronomically slim.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's probably several people you know.
Yeah. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you don't want to get better for you, try to get better for the people that are looking for that light in your eyes. There's no shame in living for other people. Sometimes you might find your purpose there. I just wish I knew. I've said this so many times. I just wish there was an answer. I wish I could fix it. I wish people could just not hurt. I mean, I know that's not. It's not going to happen, but just know that, I mean, if you're listening and you're hurting, like, our hearts hurt for you, and seriously, I don't care if you got to message our page. Just say, hey, anybody around? We'll listen. We'll answer. I'll try to help you find help. Any of these people here will. Just fight. And I think what's really sad is when we stop fighting, and sometimes it takes somebody down with us, and that's hard.
That's hard to watch.
It's hard to watch. It's
because it's hard being on being a spectator while someone self-destructs.
Oh my God, yes. And the more you love them, the more it kills your soul, because you can watch it happen, and you can beg them, and you can plead with them, and you can.
But you can't do it for them.
And until they're ready, I've lost friends because I just couldn't sit by quiet. And I'm not, I don't try to lie. But if you ask me a question and I think you need to hear the answer, I'm gonna give it to you, even if it pisses you off, because you matter. And if you don't love me anymore because of it, that's okay. At least you're alive to be mad at me. And so I don't know. Anybody got anything else? Just reach out, reach up, do whatever. Just.
No, Chris, you want to give that number again?
Oh! I thought you were saying I had a phone call. I was like, I didn't hear anything. All right, so one more time, the suicide hotline number is 1-800-273-8255. They are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
All right, I think on closing, let's just go like we did around the marriage advice and go around the table a few times, and tips for shaking it off, tips for getting back up, just, things that work for you, whatever, and go.
Little wins stack up to big wins.
Yep.
Also, you had something at one time or another that you enjoyed doing. Most of us call that a hobby. Some of us are lucky enough to call it a career. I call mine a hobby. Do that. It doesn't matter what it is, assuming it's legal. I mean, if what you enjoy doing is flipping off old people and kicking little kids. Don't go do that. But
Find a new hobby.
yeah, find a new hobby. but there is something that gets you excited in the good way, not in the dirty way.
Yeah, well, and it may not. You may have to
Yeah, you may have
struggle
to
at the beginning.
Well,